Okay, hello everyone, and welcome. How is everyone doing? Phil here live on the stream, the first of two full streams today. We'll have a full streaming day for you guys. Today is Thursday, August 23rd, 2018. How's everybody doing? Okay, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. What are we doing today? Let's talk. Today we were doing Shenmue, returning to Shenmue. I played it on Tuesday when it was released for the very first time on modern consoles. And after 4 hours of it, I tell you, it was pretty interesting. It was not what I was expecting at all. I was actually expecting a very different style of game. I thought it was going to be a lot of combat and stuff, and it ended up being almost none. It was just mostly running around this open world town, talking to the townspeople, trying to investigate and find out different things, right, about the everything going on. You know, your father's mysteriously murdered by a guy who's apparently Chinese. You're investigating how to find out more information about these people who killed him, and it leads you to go on this big, you know, kind of domino effect kind of a plot where you go for this person, then this person, then this person, and you ask this person, you find out this, you find out this. And of course, then there's free time in between the times when you can talk to certain people, so you do stuff like go to the arcade or practice your moves. And it's pretty cool in my opinion. But I'll be honest, the start was pretty slow. In comparison to other games, it really did seem like it had a slow crawling start. Will it pick up? I'm assuming, considering there's so many combat moves, the game has to pick up. But we just haven't gotten to the point of the game yet where combat becomes prevalent, right? So we'll see today, with 4 more hours of Shenmue, how stuff goes, and see how far that we can get into the game, alright? Later tonight, I will be playing more classic Street Fighter. So that means, hopefully, some Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but if not, then some Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I'm okay with either. I'll be honest. I'm okay with either game. They're both pretty fun. And I'd be okay with, you know, whatever we can get matches in, okay? So that'll be a fun session tonight of throwback classic Street Fighter. And boy, will it be a relief after playing Street Fighter V twice already this week to go back to the classics that I grew up with and love way more than the modern stuff, okay? So that's today. Tomorrow is kind of up in the air right now because I can do either Dark Souls 3 or Shenmue. I'm undecided on which I want to play. Honestly, you know, depending on how today goes, may determine tomorrow. Like, if I'm playing Shenmue today and I'm really digging it and the stuff, it picks up in a big way, and we're unlocking all new kinds of stuff, like more combat and stuff, then maybe I'll want to play it again tomorrow right away. Or, maybe after today I'll say, alright, but, you know, I like variety, I want to go back to Dark Souls tomorrow, then we have the freedom to go back to Dark Souls, okay? So we'll see. We'll see how today goes, and that'll help formulate and determine what I do tomorrow. Alright? Fair enough? Okay. Alright, tomorrow night, I'm gonna do more Scarface. I know. So I already heard a groan. Yeah, more Scarface. Apparently, after 2 hours of Scarface on Tuesday night, I'm now near the end of the game, but I'm not. I thought I was on the final mission. Apparently, I'm not. Apparently, now I'm in a final quest line where you have to do multiple missions for this Sandman character. And once you complete all those missions, then you do the final mission where you kill Sosa, and then the game concludes. I actually heard from someone who had beaten the game and said it's pretty damned hard, and it's going to lead to a lot of fails. Oh, excuse me. So, I guess we'll see what happens. But I'm going to do that tomorrow night, okay? So that'll be the week. Then Saturday's my day off, and then Sunday, I'm probably going to play on Sunday whatever I didn't play yesterday. So if I play Dark Souls tomorrow, or, I said yesterday like an idiot, what I would say is tomorrow. If I play Dark Souls on Friday, then I'll probably play Shenmue on Saturday, or vice versa, okay? Now, next week, we've got the release of Fire Pro Wrestling World, and that'll be another new release that I'll be mixing in along with my Dark Souls 3 and Shenmue playthroughs. So we'll have a little bit more variety next week as we mix in another game into the mix, okay? Sounds good? Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's address the elephant in the room. He's here, he just showed up, alright? So it's a pertinent time to address the guy. Everyone's talking about this. I understand why. There's all this controversy around it. So I'm going to address it very quickly and very honestly. Alright, there was someone in the stream chat yesterday during my Dark Souls 3 stream by the name of Tutankhamun, and he cheered an exorbitant amount during the stream. Obviously, everyone immediately was wondering, is this guy legit? Is this fraud? What's going on? The bottom line is no one knows anything, right? There's no way that any of us could know anything if it was legit or not. And there's really, honestly, at this point, there's no reason to talk about it or make the entire stream about it, okay? Twitch staff is already aware of the situation. They were in here last night monitoring the situation to see what was going on. So Twitch knows about this guy, and apparently he's been going around various channels doing this kind of really generous cheering. I have no idea who the guy is. You know, we tried talking to him yesterday to figure out who he was, and he wouldn't really give any information on who he was. However, you know, it should be made clear that nothing on Twitch can be done in exchange for bits. Okay, and allow me to explain this, because a lot of people don't understand this about Twitch terms of service, all right? So yesterday, this Tutankhamun guy was here cheering up a storm, and then he says, oh, can I have a gifted sub? Can I get a t-shirt? And I kept telling him, no, you know, I can't gift you a sub and a t-shirt. You know, I don't have them. Those are through Teespring. You know, if you want to talk, you know, email me, and we'll talk about stuff behind the scenes about anything. But no, I can't do anything like that. That's actually, all that kind of stuff is against Twitch terms of service directly. You can't do that. In fact, the only thing you can do in exchange for bits would be to thank someone. Oh, thank you very much for your cheer, you know, or give a shout out for the cheer. That's allowed. But outside of that, nothing is allowed in exchange for bits on Twitch at all, because bits are not considered currency, and therefore you cannot accept them as payment for anything, period. That's always been in the terms of service for Twitch, okay? So, there you go. That's how it goes, all right? And now we got new face of creation who is completely making something up, and I've had enough. And now you can be timed out for 10 minutes, and if you say it again, you'll be permanently banned. No, I did not say I was sending him a t-shirt. You are a liar. I told him to email me, and we would talk about stuff behind the scenes and find out who this guy is and get more information. That's what I said. And I even said maybe I would consider signing something, or like, you know, I've done that over the years, autographed stuff for people and stuff. But I never said that, so enjoy your 10-minute timeout for being a fucking liar. Trying to get me in trouble, as usual, new face of creation, trying to get me in trouble. Are you guys surprised that this person, who a million times I've said is a troublemaker, is causing trouble? Okay, then. So anyway, that's what happened yesterday, okay? I mean, as you can see, Tutankhamun, you know, way up on the, here on the leaderboard, and it's pretty nuts, all right? So here's the deal. I've now addressed it, and here's the bottom line. I have no control over it. You have no control over it. No one has any control over it. If Twitch looks into this and finds it to be fraudulent, then they find it to be fraudulent. And the guy, I'm sure, will be banned from Twitch and Amazon and everything, right? If it's legit, it's legit. And that's obviously awesome and amazing and a very positive thing. And if it is, then I say an exorbitantly strong thank you to Tutankhamun for being so positive and supportive yesterday. You know, obviously this will be amazing. So thank you for that, if it is legit, you know. But I have no control over it, and people are doing some ridiculous things. I wonder if Phil will give back the bits. It's like, what are you talking about? I don't have any control over anything. The way it works is a one-way street on Twitch. If someone cheers, that's it. It's not like Patreon or PayPal tip, where I have the ability to judge and say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna respond and return that Patreon pledge, or I'm gonna return that tip because I don't feel it's legit or something. You can't do that with bits. It's a one-way street, okay? So, it's that simple. I have no control over it. No one has any control over it. If Twitch figures something out, I'm sure they're going to determine it and let me know. All right? And go from there. All right? So, here's the deal, guys. I mean, it happened. It's great. And the guy's still around. I mean, he's popping in and out of chat and saying stuff, okay? I don't want the entirety of my stream to become about this. I don't want literally everyone just talking about this constantly, and that's all people talk about in the stream. Because that would be stupid. I mean, this is a gameplay stream. This is meant to be a place where we can hang out and have fun and feel chill and not have to not worry about any kind of other things bring the stream into derailing, okay? And at this point, I'll be honest with you guys, the entirety of the stream last night when I played Street Fighter V was pretty much people just talking about this guy, or people giving me tips in Street Fighter V, which was nice. So it was like half the stream was here to actually pay attention to the stream, and half the stream was here to see what this guy was going to do. But this is not a place for conspiracy theories. This is not a place for us to all speculate. And like I said, none of us have any control over it anyway. You know, if the bits are legit, that's great. It's gonna be obviously a very positive thing. If they're not legit, well, whatever. Keep moving on, right? So that's the way I'm approaching it. That's the way you guys should approach it. I'm sure we're going to have people coming in asking during the course of the day. Please understand and let them know, listen, this whole stream's not about that, but no one knows anything. Therefore, let's not talk about it and derail the stream. There's no point, okay? And that's it. That's kind of my feeling on it. I just want to leave it at that. Like I said, Twitch is already well aware of the subject. They were already in here last night monitoring and everything, so there's no reason for us to talk about it further, okay? And therefore, I'm not going to talk about it further. Sounds good? Okay, there you go. All right, done. You know what? And Tutankhamun literally just said in the stream chat, yeah, guys, please stop talking about me. I'd rather be anonymous and help Phil. Well, you know what? That's actually a positive way to approach it. Let's all follow that. Let's not just make it all about that, okay? All right. Today will be Shenmue, and that's what we should be talking about, all right? Now, guys, what I'd like to do is a quick plugs segment. And usually when I do a plug segment, I do a giant segment explaining everything about cheering, subbing, tipping, and all that. I'm not going to. Here's what I'm going to say. There are many ways to support me, guys. In particular, coming up, I am going to need your support, and here's why. As you guys know, in the middle of July, I lost ad revenue on YouTube, and I didn't get it back until August. So there was a good 2-week time period there where I made no money on YouTube. Sadly, this is now going to affect me in early September, because normally I would be getting a payment from YouTube. That's a big payment, and I'm not going to get that now. And this really sucks, because I got bills to pay. It's not like the bills magically go away because I lost ad revenue on YouTube for 3 weeks, right? And financially, I'm in a very tight situation, and I don't know what's going to happen. There may be, like, literally a week where all my bills can't be paid, and then I'll receive my payment from Twitch for the month of July, and then I pay them late. I don't know what I'm going to do. All right, I'm being honest with you. I do have some tip money saved up, which is great. I am going to use that to put towards it. But it's going to be a very, very dicey situation in the next couple of weeks heading into September. So the bottom line is, guys, if you want to help out, there are 2 primary ways that you can help. And I do appreciate any other kind of support, all right? Including if you cheer, if you sub, if you do those things, I'm going to give you a shout out. If you buy something from my Teespring, I'm obviously greatly appreciative. But the 2 ways that you can help me the most right now in the short term to get over this hurdle coming up in the next couple of weeks is to either pledge to my Patreon this month or to tip me, all right? If you pledge to my Patreon, you can do it at patreon.com/darksidephil. And depending on what you pledge to my Patreon, you earn different perk levels. You actually get stuff back for your contributions over on Patreon, all right? In particular, if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon this month, all right, you're going to be able to nominate and vote on indie games, okay? Indie games, all right, that you will be in a marathon coming up in the next couple of months, all right? In particular, I think I'm going to try to do it in October, all right? So please, yes, please, check out my Patreon. There's other great perks there as well, such as getting a private Q&A video. We're getting your questions answered on Ask the King, which is coming up next month. Lots of good stuff, all right? So please consider pledging to my Patreon. It would be a tremendous help right now, okay? Number 2, you can tip me. Tipping me helps me tremendously. Why does it help me, guys? Because I get that money right away. Unlike Cheers, which in particular, I see some people in the stream chat, wow, Phil's saying Patreon and tips, but he just got all these Cheers yesterday. Cheers take 2 months to clear, if I even get those. We don't know if I'm going to get those or not, and it takes 2 months, so I won't even see those until sometime in mid to late October, okay? The problem is I have a short-term problem right now because that ad revenue that was lost, you know, on DSPGaming for 3 weeks, all right? That's why I need your support right now via Patreon and tips, all right? So please don't derail and don't try to talk out of your butts in regards to stuff that's not correct, you know. Right now, I'm in a bad situation I need to get past, all right? So, yes, folks, please. If you really want to support today, tipping me would be the best way to do it. How do you tip? Well, there's 2 ways you could tip me. If you either look below the stream, there's a button that says Tip Jar, and if you click on the Tip Jar button, it'll take you to my PayPal tips page where you can either be anonymous or you can leave your name and a message, all right? Or if you don't see the Tip Jar button, if you type !tip into the stream chat, it will bring up a command that has a link. You click on the link, that'll take you to my PayPal tips page, and you can help via that method as well, okay? So both of those ways will help immensely. Like I said, Patreon, if you get in by the end of the month, so that's 8 more days, you'll actually get something back. You'll get rewards, perks. But tips are also much appreciated. As you guys can see, I do have the Stream Stats leaderboard up at the top of the screen today that I'll be updating periodically. And this leaderboard will be updating total subs, top cheerer, and top tipper. So if you're the top cheerer or tipper for today, I'll get you up on there. You'll get credit during the course of today's stream, okay? So, and like I said, any contributions are much appreciated. Cheering, subbing, tipping, Patreon, Teespring, really, it helps out. But, in particular, if you really want to help out the most and in the short term, because I need to get through the first 2 weeks of September, so I'll finally get paid by Twitch. Once I get paid by Twitch in September, things should be all right. But I need to get to that point. The best way that you can help me would be to either pledge to my Patreon or tip me today, okay? Fair enough? All right. All right, now, so you know what? I'm going to actually address something that some people have been asking for recently. They've asked me, Phil, why don't you have any sub goals anymore? All right, what happened to your sub goals? They didn't go anywhere. The thing is, we hit all the sub goals. And I can't keep doing sub goals because it's just too much stuff. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Last month, I only had a tier 1 sub goal, and we ended up hitting a tier 2 and tier 3 that were made up completely on the fly, which then prompted me to play Night in the Woods. And apparently now I need to do an episode of DSP Tries It that I literally at this point don't know what to do. I've been looking around for a good thing to do for it, and I can't really find anything. I think what I'm going to do is wait it out and wait for a special thing. You know, if I find something really cool or funny or silly in a store, or I see an ad on TV or online, or if I'm on Amazon, I happen to run into something that could be a funny DSP Tries It, then I'll do it. But I don't want to jump the gun and do something shitty, you know. But that's what I mean. Like, that's what happened last month. Now, this month, we did an Indies Marathon, right? So the Indies Marathon is happening, but I don't want to do another sub-goal and another sub-goal that I can't deliver on, and then people feel that the sub-goals aren't realistic. What I can tell you guys is this, all right? Next month, okay? Next month, guys, the month of September, the sub-goals are going to be good. Here's why. They're going to be related to Halloween. As you guys know, every year I like to do a Halloween event, and I dress up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3 sub-goals. The first will be just a Halloween marathon. If we hit that sub-goal, I'll be doing a Halloween gaming marathon. The second sub-goal will be decorations. Like, if we hit another sub-goal, I'll get some decorations to decorate the office for Halloween for the month of October. And then if we hit the final sub-goal, you'll even be able to some extent choose what kind of Halloween costume I'm going to get, okay, for the event. So we'll have 3 sub-goals all related to Halloween. And that'll be good because that's, you know, pure perfect timing for that. I know people will be excited for that. People like my Halloween events. To be able to have some kind of influence over them. I even talked to Kat, and Kat's interested in perhaps joining us for some of the Halloween event if she can, if she's not working. I actually don't even know when Halloween is this year. But yeah, it should be fun. And I hope that you guys will... you know, check that out next month here on stream. That'll be what the goals will be all about, okay? Fair enough, guys? Alright, so that's why we're not doing sub-goals right now. I figure there's no point in just keep promising you guys goals, and then, you know, at some point I have to deliver, and if I have 1,000,000 goals, how am I going to do them all, right? So I'm just kind of being more relaxed, being more laid back, and just allowing things to go the way they are, alright? Fair enough. But I am still appreciative of any subscribers. In fact, if you subscribe to the channel, what do you get? Well, number 1, you get access to all of my emotes, of which people have been using a ton of recently since I've been playing so much Street Fighter, right? Number 2, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a subscriber and an ongoing supporter. And if you are a paid sub, what I mean by that is if you actually pay for it every month, you will not have to watch advertisements. The reason I have to make that distinction is because soon Twitch is going to change it. If you use your Twitch Prime free sub, everyone who has Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime gets a free sub a month. Those people will have to watch advertisements, apparently. They're going to change it, okay? So, FYI, those are the benefits you get for being a sub, and I'm very appreciative of anyone who is a sub. You guys help me out. Thank you for that, okay? Alrighty. Very nice. Okay, anything else? I'm trying to think. I already talked about Patreon and tipping because those are the best ways to help. I already talked about subs. I talked about the leaderboard. I think I've covered everything. Alright. All right, fair enough, guys. Let's now do shout-outs for those of you who have contributed. Hold on a second. Gotta refresh because my leaderboard here is a little screwed up. There we go. Yeah, let's do some shout-outs for those who have contributed. First of all, we had a few people who contributed overnight. We had Baby Vampire... Oh, man. Try that again. Baby Vampire Thug. There we go. I got the name right this time. Baby Vampire Thug. And he said, I cannot sleep, and he did that cheer at 9:40 p.m. Well, I'm assuming that he probably didn't live where I live, because trying to go to bed at 9:40, I'd never be able to. But, hopefully you did finally get to sleep, Baby Vampire Thug, and thank you for the cheer. Infinite did a 100-bit cheer overnight. Thank you, Infinite, for that 100-bit cheer. And Lockcelius subscribed to the channel overnight. Thank you, Lockcelius, for the overnight sub. I appreciate that, okay? All right, now for people who contributed during today's stream, we start out with AES. And by the way, AES, I hope that you're all set now with the patron stuff. Please let me know if it's not fixed, because I'm pretty sure I got everything done behind the scenes for you. So AES cheered and said, do you ever think we will have the option to sell our digital games back for either credit or payment on debit or credit card? No, I do not. Because what it is a license to play the game. And honestly, I actually find it weird that to this day you could still do it with digital discs. And the reason I say that is, you know, everything's digital now. A lot of people are buying digital-only games. I'm one of them. You know, I get all my games digitally, so that way if I ever want to go back and play them later, I just re-download and I'm good to go, rather than having to sort through a bunch of discs that are sitting around, that may be scratched, that may be lost, right? I think that the days of physical discs being able to be traded in for credit was an era when we all saw buying a game as buying a disc. We thought, oh, I own this game physically because I own the disc. And the truth of the matter is that was never correct. That was actually a misconception. What we were buying was a license to play that game. You didn't own the code of that disc. You didn't own anything on that disc. All you owned was the right to play what was on that disc. Much like when you purchase a movie on a Blu-ray disc. Do you own the movie? No, what you own is a copy of the movie that you have the rights to play at your own leisure, but you can't then take that movie and do you can't chop that movie up and sell it yourself or redistribute it, or, you know what I mean? And so when you make it digital, it basically eliminates all of that. Like, there's no physical presence to the game, so there's literally nothing to resell. Like, let's say, for example, I bought Shenmue HD Collection. Oh, I'm done with it. I want to trade it in. There's no way you could sell that license to another person. It was digital to begin with. You can't hand that code off. You see what I mean? I don't think that will ever happen. And honestly, I think we're starting to see the end of an era of, like I said, games being physical and being able to be traded in. And I know that sucks because a lot of people still do it and rely on, I buy the used copy of the game because it's cheaper and all that. I totally get that, but I don't think that's going to last. I really don't. I think it's going to start going away. You're going to see big companies like GameStop are basically failing at this point. They were used to be so reliant on that on that used game revenue stream. And even they're seeing a huge decline. What they've done, if you walk into a GameStop store now, what you'll see is they've completely changed their business model. What they're focusing on now is selling all kinds of merchandise. You know, little pop figures. You see what I mean? Like little T-shirts. You see what I mean? Like, I don't think so. I don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think that would... GameStop is going to end up being a different kind of business model, and anyone who relies on those used games as a revenue source is going to basically have to change their ways, because I think it's going to go away, quite frankly. And it's funny because, you know, when Microsoft... in 2014, when Microsoft had the Xbox One, and they said all this, they were like, oh, no, you know, no more used game copies, trading in, nothing. Everything's going to be digital. You know, the whole internet raged against them, and they made Don Matrick this poster boy for evil, right? But here we are 4+ years later, and we're all kind of now like, oh, shit, well, that's kind of where everything's gone, right? So maybe, if anything, maybe they were just ahead of their time. It could be, right? Okay. All right, shout out to Tazariel, who says, are you going to play the new World of Warcraft expansion? No. Tazariel, you probably aren't aware of this, but about 2.5 years ago, as a special event for patrons, because the patrons had pledged to make this event happen, I played World of Warcraft. It was a huge flop, because what we found, which of course I didn't know, is that World of Warcraft is incredibly prone to trolling. Incredibly prone to trolling. Like, it's incredibly easy to fucking troll. You could basically just go right to the starting area and just kill all the spawns that the starters need to kill, and they can never advance, never get levels. It's just like griefing to the max. And it basically made it unplayable, and what I had to do is I had to basically play the game offline. I couldn't live stream it. I had to play it offline for about 4 hours that day and record locally just for YouTube and upload to YouTube exclusively, and that was it. And the event was a flop because of that. So no, I would not be able to do that. It sucks. You know, I didn't know, and again, I didn't know anything about it, and now I know. Now, are there other MMOs that are different, that aren't troll abusive? I don't know. The bottom line is I don't usually play MMOs regardless. So for me, it's not a big loss to not be able to play an MMO because of griefing, okay? But no, I would not be playing World of Warcraft. I tried, and it did not work, okay? Blackest of Goku's cheered and says, what is your opinion of Black Goku? First of all, there is no Black Goku. His name is Goku Black, and he is not a real Goku. He's an imposter from the Dragon Ball Super franchise, and I have no opinion on him because I haven't seen Dragon Ball Super. The only reason I really know about him is because I was playing, at the time, I was playing Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle. It was a mobile game, and he was in it, had like a million fucking forms in this stupid game. So I was using him for a while, but I didn't ever watch the anime. I don't know anything about him, so therefore I have no opinion on it, but thank you for the cheer. Shout out to Ripley Atomic, who cheers, says, good morning, Phil, hope you're well. What do you think would be the toughest turn-based game? I honestly have no idea. Alright, I have absolutely no idea at all. Because from what I'm to understand, that like there were some really cripplingly hard turn-based RPGs back in the day, like that I never played. So I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, oh, this is definitively the hardest one. Out of all the ones I've played, fuck. I'm trying to think back on a game that, like, probably some of the original Dragon Quest games, like the original Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Those games are tough. Like, they require a lot of grinding in some cases. Like, you'll go to a new area, and the enemies are all, like, way above you. Like, oh, fuck. And then you gotta go back and grind in order to gain some artificial leveling, right? So then you can go to the new area and actually fight the monsters. Some of those older RPGs were like that, where there was no natural progression. There was actually required grinding in order to get to the next section. So, I guess that's what I would say, but I'll be honest, I'm not too educated on the subject, so... Shout out to Dr. Soundwave, who did a 1,000-bit cheer to become today's top cheerer. And he says, Cybertron bits. Thank you very much to Dr. Soundwave. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. Thank you very much, Dr. Soundwave. Thank you, thank you. Appreciative of that. All right, let's go on. Tazariel cheered again. He says, is the Mayflash F300 a good starter fight stick? I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of that. The Mayflash, I don't know. I know about the different models of Hori joystick. Mad Catz used to make a ton of joysticks till they went out of business. I don't know. I can't answer your question for you. I don't know what that one is, so sorry. Murdoch has resubscribed for the 6th month in a row. The 6 months of support have earned him his golden crown. Chat badge. Thank you very much, Murdoch, for 6 months. Gaming Mongeese did a 200-bit cheer. Thank you, Gaming Mongeese, for the cheer. Tazariel cheered again. He says, do one of those Carolina Reaper chips for DSP tries it. What is that? A Carolina Reaper chip? What is that? Does anyone in stream chat know what that is? A Carolina Reaper chip? It sounds like maybe a hot kind of potato chip or something. Reggie Face says, it's a spicy chip. Okay, everyone's now chiming in. There's a really hot tortilla chip. Okay. It's the world's hottest pepper chip. Oh, fuck me. So I'd eat this thing, my mouth would be burning for hours. I don't know if I want to do that. How am I going to stream? How the hell would I stream if my mouth is on fire? See, I like some spicy stuff. I like jalapenos. I like habaneros. I like chipotle. You know, I like certain hot flavorings. But I'm not the kind of guy that I want to eat something that's so fucking hot that it burns my mouth out. I'm not one of those people that I go to a restaurant and I take a bottle of their hot sauce and fucking slather it all over my meal. I'm not like that. A little bit of extra flavor is good, but making the meal all about the hot sauce or the spice, I'm not about that, okay? So for me, I'm kind of like, meh, no, I don't think so. So I probably would not be doing that. Okay. Third Eye the Third here, he says, can you set up spooky lighting for Halloween, like have a light on the floor for dramatic effect? What I would say is this. I could try to figure something out. I don't know what I would be able to do. Maybe colored light bulbs to make different kind of lighting on the webcam. You know, I'm trying to think, like, what could I viably do? Because the problem would be positioning of the lighting and being able, like, I can't really attach lights to my walls. I don't have anything that I could do that. But, like you said, on the floor, maybe a weird light on the floor or something. But I wouldn't do, that would be for the Halloween event. That wouldn't be for all month. I mean, oh God, remember, imagine me playing all the normal games of the month with weird Halloween lighting. That would be kind of silly. But maybe for the Halloween event, yeah, maybe I could do something like that, spooky. Of course, I can't spend a ridiculous amount of money on it. But if I could find something, you know, there's so many Halloween stores and shit that pop up around Halloween around here. It'd be really cool to go shopping. To, you know, let's do decorations for the streams all month for the background. Remember how I did decorations for Christmas? Well, I could do the same thing for Halloween, right? And then on the Halloween event, we could have spooky lighting and a costume and everything. Yeah, it could be pretty cool. I'm feeling it. I'm down for it. I love Halloween. Typically, all of October, I end up watching horror movies and stuff. So I'm down, man. I'm down. Let's see how it goes. T-Dubs. So, Cheers says, just an idea, you could start having a singular event sub-goal as the main attraction and then possibly a new sub-goal to finish off the month related to that main attraction. So, for example, in September, your first goal will be Halloween stream. Then when you hit that, the next goal is stream in custom, hit that stream. Stream drinking in, oh, I see, he's saying stream in costume. And the next thing will be stream drinking in costume. All right, very good. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, T-Dubs, that's a good idea. The thing is, though, I don't think I could do it every month. So I'll give you an example. This month, right, we had an Indies Marathon style goal. Now, what else could I do for an Indies Marathon? You know what I mean? Like, what would be the next level? I don't know. You're not going to dress up for an Indies Marathon. You're not going to have dramatic lighting for an Indies Marathon. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. For months where, like, for example, Christmas, that would make sense. A Christmas event, do something special for the Christmas event. You know what I mean? Like, hit the goals and I'll do more stuff. Keep adding to it. But I don't know what I could do for a normal month, I guess. We'd have to see. All right. Let's continue on. Dooley. What's going on, Dooley? Good to see ya. He did 145-bit cheer. He says, good day to you, sir. Good day to you, Dooley. Like I said, good to see ya. I haven't seen you around recently, so welcome. Hopefully you're hang out for Shenmue if you can. Rubly Atomic Charity says, were there any other digital pictures like Scottie Pippen games that we never got to see? Would you play them for a Patreon goal? I'm not sure. What I know is I played the major ones. Like the ones that you saw me play on YouTube were the major ones. But it's very likely maybe there was another one that slipped through the cracks that I never played. But yeah, what was it? There was the horror game with the zombies on the island. There was the basketball game. I think there was one or two more. I think there were 3 to 4 of them from that same Chuck Zito studio. Chuck Zito. Oh my god. Now you're getting me going again on that shit. But, yeah. Alright. Let's leave the past in the past. Necrono cheered. Excuse me, Necrono resubbed for the 2nd month in a row, and he says, pee is stored in the balls. That is incorrect, sir. That's a joke from somewhere. I think it was a TV show or something. Pee is not stored in the balls. That's disgusting. Or else if you got kicked in the nads, you'd start peeing uncontrollably, right? Impact King has cheered. He says, Phil, I used to watch you all the time back in the day, and I even played with you back in the WWE All-Stars years ago, just checking back in for old times. What's up, Impact King? WWE All-Stars, man, I remember that game. That game was fun, but broken. Remember? It was the cartoonish style WWE wrestlers bouncing around the ring and doing, like, super moves and flying backdrop finishers and stuff. It was pretty zany, a zany game. And I remember it had some really wild bugs, too. That was a fun game, though. Well, Impact King, welcome back. Hopefully, you'll hang out today and you'll enjoy the stream. Shout out to Big Daddy Phil. He cheers that can Cat dress up for Halloween too. I paid big money to see that duo Halloween stream. We'll see. I actually talked to her about it, and she's actually excited. She says she hasn't dressed up for Halloween in a million years, and she'd be very interested in dressing up for Halloween. But, you know, it all depends on her work schedule. I don't even know when Halloween is this year. She may be working, and if that's the case, then she wouldn't be here. If I'm doing a marathon stream, she probably wouldn't be here for some of it at least. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. You know, obviously this will be something that we talk about the closer we get to Halloween. But it's very possible. It's very possible that she would come and hang out. Maybe you know, sit here and watch me play a game, a horror game or something, right? We'll see. Okay. Spawn Killer tipped me $1 and says, "Would you thought about doing joystick custom?" All right. First of all, Spawn Killer, I'm gonna try to assume that what you're saying or asking is would I consider making custom joysticks or getting a custom joystick. Okay, first of all, thank you. You're the only tipper for today, so I put you up on the leaderboard for $1 tip. Thank you. As I told you guys earlier, the best way you can support me right now would be either to pledge to my Patreon or to tip me. Okay, guys? And that's going to be probably for the next few weeks until I get through to like mid-September when I finally get paid for July's stuff on Twitch here. Because as I told you, I lost all my ad revenue on YouTube for 3 weeks. And now I'm not going to get that payment. I usually rely on a payment of a lot of money from YouTube to pay my bills, and I'm not going to have it. So if you guys could tip or pledge to my Patreon in the short term here, that's going to help me out tremendously. I still appreciate all your other contributions, but honestly, the only thing that's going to help me in the short term here is tips or patron pledges. So please consider if you can, all right? Now, moving on to Spawn Killer. You may not realize this, Spawn Killer, but once upon a time, you know, 9 years ago, when I was just starting up as a YouTuber, and when Street Fighter 4 had just released, I used to make custom joysticks. It was myself and Howard and John Rambo would put our heads together and we would design different things for custom sticks, including different colored buttons and joysticks themselves, artwork that we would find on the internet, and we would custom print it out on professional grade card stock and then trim it with X-Acto knives and get transparent tops for joysticks. Like, some of the sticks we made were quite spiffy. They looked really nice, and they played fine. You know, I used a lot of them in tournaments. I had an Akuma joystick that I used in tournaments for a pretty long time. But that was a bygone era, you know. That was the era of Street Fighter 4. Then after that, pretty much for a while, it died out. In fact, the joystick manufacturer Mad Catz, who made a shitload of money off of Street Fighter 4, ended up going out of business because they lost a ton of money on Rock Band. And then after that, there was a big crash. And it's funny because when Street Fighter V released, everyone thought, oh, everyone's going to want joysticks again. But Street Fighter V was such a flop at launch that there were stores who had hundreds of joysticks sitting on the fucking shelves and no one's bought any of them. I can attest to this because my local Fry's has a joystick section where they literally bought like 3, 4, 5 models of different joysticks and no one ever bought them. They're just sitting there. There was no joystick craze for Street Fighter V like there was for Street Fighter 4. So I used to be a hobbyist and an enthusiast, and yes, I used to make custom joysticks, but in the modern era, would I? No, I wouldn't. And a couple reasons. Number one, because it is a pricey endeavor. You got to order all these parts from online. You got to have them shipped in. You got to disassemble your own joystick, which is a risk in itself, and then swap out parts or whatever. And, you know, it's nice to get custom parts that feel a little bit more responsive, but at the same time, it's work and it's risky. Like I said, you could break something in there, now your joystick's fucked, and that happened a couple times when we were doing it. Number two, most modern fighting games don't need joysticks anymore. You know, there was an era when you had a massive advantage playing a fighting game on a joystick. But now, the controls for most fighting games have been dumbed down, like, so much that you don't even need to do the proper motions to get things to come out anymore in fighting games. It's ridiculous at this point. And so, no, I don't think that really joysticks are necessary. So I wouldn't go into, oh, I'm going to make custom sticks for myself, for others. It's just not worth it at this point. You know, for the Street Fighter 4 era, oh, yeah, it was. Because that was the height and the return of fighting games, you know, 9 years ago. It was huge, ginormous explosion in the popularity of fighting games after them being pretty dead for a while. When Street Fighter 4 came out, the hype had been reinvigorated. Everyone wanted a joystick and everyone wanted to play it. It was a very different situation than it is now. Okay? So, The answer is no, I would not do custom sticks moving forward. Okay. AES cheered. He says, what does the 2K series need to do in order to get back to the glory days of WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2006 and 2007? I don't know. They need quality control is what they need, because every year when you play this fucking game, there's some ridiculous shit. Like last year, all you need to do is play through the career mode for like 2 hours to see how bad it was. The voice acting was terrible. The plot was bad. Glitches. It was just not good. It was boring. I mean, do they not have people who are fans of video games play their fucking games to tell them if it's good or not? I just don't get it. Like, I've played every WWE game annually since I started here on YouTube. Every year I play it. And they used to be much better. The games actually used to be better when you had a fun story-based campaign that would last you 5 to 8 hours, and then you would create a wrestler, you'd go and do sim matches, then you'd go online. Even if the online sucked, it was still funny as fuck to see the weird shit people would create, right? Now you buy it, oh, there's no story-based campaign, the create a wrestler mode is kind of shitty, you go to play the camp, it's not even a campaign, it's what, a career mode, and it's fucking boring, a boring grind, it's boring as fuck. It's like, how did you go from a game that actually was fun to a game that's not? How did you lose your fucking way, right? Now, from what I'm going to understand, this year they are adding back the story. After so many complaints last year, they're adding in a Daniel Bryan story mode to go through his career. Since he's now back, it's going to celebrate kind of like his original matches, and then his rise as a wrestler, his fall when he got hurt, and his return and everything. So that could be pretty cool. That could be pretty cool. But, I mean, all they got to do is look to their roots. Look back to the old games and say what worked and what didn't, you know? Lee Wanner cheered and says, do you ever suffer or indulge in bouts of extreme nostalgia? Extreme nostalgia? I mean, I don't even know what that entails. Extreme nostalgia. I don't know. Like, are there times when I feel nostalgic? Sure. Every Halloween, I want to go watch old horror movies. You know, a few times a year, I get a craving for old 80s movies that I want to watch. Some of my favorites from back in the day. Fighting games. Yeah, I still to this day get cravings or thoughts of being back in an arcade, lining up, playing with people, talking shit, having fun the old school way. It doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. It's gone, right? Hell, I'll be honest. Sometimes I get nostalgic about my original run here on YouTube, when there was none of the stress of income or anything. It was just me sitting down, setting up a camera, and recording a game and being silly, playing the game and doing commentary. And, you know, it was a different era. It was a very different time. You know, that's what happens, is that you have things change, right? And you get nostalgic about the past, but the thing is, you never realize what's good and what's bad when it's happening. Like right now, I'll be honest, guys, I think that this is one of the best times of my life. I'm living with an amazing woman. For my job, I'm live streaming fun stuff with you guys every single day. We have a blast here on stream, right? Like, I have fun at work. How many people can actually say we go to work and I have fun at work? Most people can't say that. A lot of people go to work and they say, man, this job sucks. It's a grind. I just do it for the money. I used to be like that. But now it's like so different. You know, I love this time. I would hope that later in my life, I look back to now as nostalgic and say, man, it was really good back then, you know? But no, do I have incredibly crippling bouts of nostalgia? Not necessarily. Impact King today, 49-bit cheer. And he says, what are your thoughts on the BlazBlue? I believe it's actually pronounced BlazBlue, by the way. What are your thoughts on the BlazBlue line of games? I'm really into cross tag right now and wanted to know your thoughts. First of all, I don't have any pertinent thoughts because I've not played a BlazBlue game ever. Not once ever in my life have I touched it. I have seen it played, and I know that it's made by the same makers of Guilty Gear. Wow, I have a brain fart there. The same makers of Guilty Gear, and it plays very similar to Guilty Gear. Now, Guilty Gear is a good game competitively. I've seen it played at very high levels. And what it really comes down to, it's a cross between old school kind of versus style gameplay, like Marvel vs. Capcom, that kind of game, because it has really cool, you know, jump cancel combos, launching combos, chain combos, etc. But what I don't like about that series is that a lot of the time it's about just doing safe patterns and safe things. Street Fighter at its core, which honestly it's not like this in the modern era with Street Fighter V, but previously Street Fighter had been, a lot of it had been about timing, footsies, reactionary gameplay, And Guilty Gear slash BlazBlue has some of that to some extent. But when you have things like, oh, I can just blow out of any combo at any time once a match. Or, oh, you know, here's a lockdown pattern that's completely safe. And if you try to blow through it, I hit you because, you know, it's a 50-50 mix-up or something. That's the kind of thing that I don't like about fighting games. Because it takes the risk-reward factor out. That's what I like about fighting games is when you have a game that has high risk-reward factors, you can get someone who has great timing and great execution, and they're now able to play at a higher level than anyone else because they can react and stop things that you thought were safe and they're not. But sadly, a lot of modern games, what's happening is everything's safe. And in a game like Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, a lot of that, from what I've seen, that's kind of a lot of the gameplays. A lot of the shit is very safe. And I don't like that, you know? I don't like that at all. But that's me. That's my personal opinion. I could, you know, I could play it if I could play it at a high level, maybe I would have a different opinion, okay? Now, also, I used to get turned off completely by the visual style of the Guilty Gear and BlazBlue games. I thought it was too anime-ish for me, and I didn't particularly like it that much because of that. I thought that I would prefer a more realistic art style. But now take a look. Now all the games look anime, right? Look, almost every fucking game. Tekken has characters that look like they were ripped straight out of a fucking zany manga. And fucking Street Fighter, are you kidding me? Like, every game now has gone that route. So I don't think I can really say that anymore. Oh, it's too anime-ish for me. Every fucking game has this crazy over-the-top anime-ish like characters. So, at this point, I think that's a moot point. It's more the gameplay style. Plus, let's face it, both Guilty Gear and BlazBlue have been out for a while, and to jump into those series, they're very complex. I should emphasize this. Those series are very complex. There's, like, very deep fighting game engine. One of the deepest that exists, with the intricacies of that engine. And so to jump in as a newcomer is almost impossible against someone who's been playing it for a while. Like, you're going to get fucked up because you're not going to understand half the shit going on. So I don't think that in that regard that I'd even be able to, like, jump in and try to play them, you know. Final Beast says, well, the new one isn't deep. See, I don't know that. I didn't play, like I said, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. I haven't played any of these games in a million years. I haven't even seen any of the newer ones, so I can't attest, you know, personally. So, Zujin, oh no, excuse me, Zuijin has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Zuijin, for the sub. I will check on total sub count soon. Spawn Killer, to me, another $1, says, would you ever play the Condemned series? Didn't I? Wasn't it 2 or 3 years ago that Condemned was voted in for a Halloween marathon, and I played one for a while? And people thought it was good, but basically got bored after a couple hours. I never went back to it, right? I think. I'm trying to remember. Did I or did I not play one of the Condemned games? I swear I had one of them on Xbox 360 and I played it, I think. Whenever someone asks me stuff like this, Spawn Killer, I have a simple response. I'm not against playing any kind of game or genre. You know, I have special events such as Patron's Choice where people can nominate and vote on these games. That's why I do those events. So I could do something that's kind of out of the ordinary, out of my normal comfort zone. So, there you go. Amplatory2 cheered 45 bits and says, excited for more Shenmue. Yeah. Okay, so people are saying I did play Condemned Criminal Origins for about an hour to an hour and a half during the Horror Games Marathon in 2016. There you go. I thought I had. Anyway, Amplatory, yeah, I'm excited for more. Like I said, I'm curious to see what happens. Is this entire game like how it is now, where basically most of the game is just running around and doing investigations? Or does it turn into a big combat-style game later on? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out, okay? Shout out to Blaine007, who just tipped me $10. Thank you very much, Blaine. You're the top tipper for today. By the way, I forgot to put Spawn Killer's name up here. I just said top tip $1. Oops, my bad, Spawn Killer. You were the top tipper for a while, but now Blaine is. And thank you very much, Blaine. As I said, the best way to be supportive right now, guys, would either be to pledge to my Patreon or to tip me. Those things help me in the short term. They're going to help me get past this really rough patch here in early September where I'm going to be screwed over and short on money because YouTube ad revenue was lost for 3 weeks. I'm hoping to hopefully get past that hurdle, but we need to, you know, I need to get past it. And the only way is to basically raise funds between now and then, which means tips and Patreon, because I get those right away, all right? So thank you guys to those who did tip, Blaine and Spawn Killer. Thank you to everyone who cheered. Thanks for the people who subbed. In fact, let's check the sub count. 562. What the hell? We're up to 562 subs? Holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not realize this. We are only 1 or 2 subs away. That is not the correct number of subs. We are only 1 or 2 subs away from the most subs ever. Yeah, the most I ever had, I believe, was around 563 or 64. And that was back in January. And then they all dipped after that because the sales and everything for the holidays ran out. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. That's absolutely pretty awesome. And we are very good. I mean, maybe we will hit it. Maybe we will hit the most subs ever today on stream. We could. I could see that, right? It could happen today. What I will ask mods, please check the stream chat. We've got a few obvious trolls. I just banned them myself. A few obvious trolls. For example, I just said, oh, you know, tips and Patreon help me. And they say, you got all those cheers yesterday. We already talked about this earlier. We don't know if those cheers are legit. Even if they are, I'm not getting them for 2 months. I'm not going to put up with idiots like that talking slander in the stream chat and derailing everything and making people think that there's a situation that there's not, all right? I'm just not. These people are going to get their asses fucking kicked out of the stream chat permanently. I'm done with that shit, okay? So, please, mods, keep your eyes open at what's going on in the stream chat. I'm not going to put up with this crap. I'm not. I'm not going to put up with these assholes who are in here only to talk shit and make people who are newcomers have no idea what's going on. I'm not putting up with that shit anymore, okay? Okay. All right, anything else, guys? Or are we good? I think we're good. I think we've covered everything. We had a good discussion on the pre-stream here. We're all good? All right. All right, let's end the pre-stream. And let's jump back into Shenmue. Let's see how it goes. I think if I remember correctly, I'd saved at the house, but I need to go back into town quickly because I need to be at the jacket shop around 7 p.m. to look for the biker, I think, right? Okay, great. Very nice.